Good morning, everyone. We are here. What do we used to call this? Because we haven't, let's name that we have not been here for a while.
Yes,
We're being like super busy. And we want to be back. I think we call it Supervisor's Corner. That's what we did.
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
We're,
sounds
make,
good. We should
we're
call it
making this
that.
shit up. That's what we're
Yeah.
calling it now.
Yes. Yes.
So we are here. My name is Liliana Baylon, and I'm supervisor in quite a bit of areas. It's boring just to say it. Jen, do you want to introduce yourself again?
Yeah, Jen Shivey, also a supervisor. I'm an approved clinical supervisor and a registered play therapist supervisor.
And
And
Alex?
Alex.
Alex Castro-Croy, and I'm a clinical supervisor, and I'm also an MDRA approved consultant, bilingual
Great.
consultant.
So, Alex, what's going to be our topic?
Yes. Today, what we're going to talk about is for those individuals that, all of us, both Liliana, Jen, and I, we have our private practice and we do a lot of consulting and a lot of teaching. But we've been in the field collectively, I'd say, over 30 plus years, if that's fair enough. 30, I don't want to age
Alex is very sassy this morning.
Probably a little
Anyways,
more than that, but let's go with
let's go with 30.
30.
Let's go with 30 collectively. And
Yeah.
we wanted to talk about, a lot of people ask us, how do we get where we're at? But one of the things that we've learned is that we've had a lot of mentorship. And before we engaged in private practice, we learned from other people, and we learned with mistakes as well. We made our mistakes, but we had a lot of mentors that helped us along the way. But we did not, even though we did start our private practice, we didn't launch completely with private practice right off the bat, mainly because we wanted to get some experience under our belt, supervision under our belt, and just test the waters. And today we want to talk about what about those individuals that are coming out and they just want to run and open under private practice and say, I'm going to make 120,000 a year opening up a private practice. It's like, oh, but wait, there's a
Yeah.
process to this. So let's talk about that. So today we want to talk and address some of the challenges, the pros and the cons of just running straight into direct private practice without having much experience. So
I was
let's
like,
start.
oh, who's under 20s who believes this and I want to go work for you?
Right.
Right?
Right.
Um,
I mean, yeah, graduating is, you're kind of on such a high. You've worked so hard. You
Mhm.
finished your internship and you're ready to go. It's like a senioritis all over again. You're finally getting to work with clients and you feel like you've got it. Um, but the truth is that that degree is really just the basic foundation. You are just starting when you get to that point. I remember graduating and feeling like I was ready to take on the world. And at some point I was like, they're just gonna let me do this. Like there's nobody watching me. There's nobody like what if so it was and I realized pretty quickly on that I still needed a ton of support. Maybe not the same as when I was in grad school. A different, like, how do you run this business? How do you where do you look to make these ethical decisions that are yours now? Where do how do you balance all of that? And so having a really good supervisor, I had a great supervisor. So having a good supervisor and having that early on too. I think a lot of people wait. It's like, well, once I'm up to 10 clients a week or once I'm up to 20 clients a week, if you're up to 10 or 20 clients a week with no supervision, it's not a great thing. So, yeah, yeah. Liliana?
and let's name that. So here in the state of Colorado, we are the Wild West to start with.
We so are.
And as an AMFT approved supervisor, I can tell you that's a nay. That's a no. You're not supposed, in the state of Colorado, you're not supposed to see clients if you're not under supervisor, if you have a permit, a candidacy. Let's start with that. Ethically, you cannot.
Correct.
Um,
Mhm.
but two, I have always spoke, either when I'm teaching, or in anyone who consults with me, is that I'm the exception to the rule. I came to counseling as a second career. So I have a master's in business administration. So I came with a platform understanding the business side, not the business of therapy, the business
Right.
side, which is the
Right.
whole new different industry, right? So I knew what to do in regards to what is it that I needed legally to operate a
Mhm.
business. I understood that, but because I did not understand the business of therapy, I work as a contractor everywhere that I went, in order to have mentorship and supervision. So from an agency to nonprofit to for-profit, I was always spread out in different ways in order for me to obtain what I needed. Supervision that didn't count it as an MFT. Unfortunately, in the state of Colorado, we don't have a lot of us. So I had to go and pay for that on my own. But supervision, mentorship is really important when you leave school. And between leaving school and getting your license, you need a lot of mentorship. You need clinical supervision to meet DORA expectations. Expectations or requirements? It's requirements.
Yeah.
But
Requirements. Yeah.
you also need a mentorship in regards to the business side, right? Our friend Kara is really famous in Colorado because everyone goes to her for Medicaid questions.
Yeah.
For writing books. Like she has created a niche from the beginning. She was my mentorship in regards to understanding Medicaid. I think for all of us.
Yeah.
So what is the mentorship that you need? The other thing is, what is your niche? Alex reminded me of that, which is I understood from the beginning because I had a mentor, psychologist, and he will tell me, if you get in the elevator in 20 seconds or less, can you describe who's your niche? And we will practice, by the way. He will take me to buildings. It was so fucking weird. He will take me to buildings and said, start. And like, and he will start it. And I had to start a conversation with someone explaining my niche. It was so weird. So he prepped me in regards to understanding my niche, understanding the business of therapy, and understanding clearly that doesn't define me because clients call me not because I work with Latinos or I work with children, but now they come to me because of per se, right? So I think all of us did that. Alex, how did you start it? How did you went from candidacy to where you are now?
Yeah, I think for me it was I was previously a probation officer, and my clinical supervisor was a PsyD, and he was very good, kind of like you, Liliana. When you're done with this, what are you going to do? What's your niche? Because you have an intersectionality of criminal justice and trauma and addiction, and so so when he started talking to me, I was like, oh yeah, right. I do have trauma and I do have addiction because I work with people in criminal justice. I had a specialty court of drug court and mental health court. And so then he's like, your niche has always been drug court. And it wasn't until I started having those conversations with my clinical supervisor, the intentional conversation with the clinical supervisor, with the challenges. That's the key piece. With a clinical supervisor that challenges you with your critical thinking, cognitively, and with the skills that you have. What are you going to do in this situation? Not someone that just gives you the answers, right? But someone that challenges you to think critically in a way that you can develop. And when he started challenging me in those areas and arenas, I started realizing, oh, I need to do more research about this. I need to go follow this. I need to go, what modality are you going to use with this population? You know, whether it be DBT, whether it be, FFT, functional family therapy, or whether it be EMDR. Why are you using it? What's the clinical justification? So everything that he challenged me with was on every cognitive critical thinking, clinical justification, and medical necessity. He challenged me to the point where to this day, now he's retired, I am so grateful that I had this clinical supervisor who also was, aside from a teacher, was also a mentor. That there were times, like you said, and I'm like, God damn it, I don't want to talk about this. Just give me the damn answer. Like, no, I want you to develop. And it's so important to have those type of people when you sit with them and they do case consultation, that they bombard you with all of these questions. Yeah, you will get annoyed, you will get frustrated, but you're learning. You are learning. And one of the things he said is, if you ever have to go on a stand and you have to testify, you know what you're going to reply and how you're going to reply in a way that's going to be clinically sound. That's the key piece. And that was one of the things that I appreciated. And now that I do practice and do evaluations and work with people in criminal justice and trauma, it's really helped me develop significantly as well.
See, and that's so true, to take like what you already know. I think being a therapist, I think, is a second career for all of us. I was a litigation paralegal for years. So I'm actually a trained mediator. I don't talk about it, but I'm trained to do mediations. Yeah. So, and my path was a little different. I did like bust out of grad school and open a private practice. But when I say I opened a private practice, I had an office that I shared, a tiny office I shared with like four other people. I think I had like one client for a year. So really, I worked at a school district as a truancy paralegal. I got a ton of experience and I'd worked at a residential treatment facilities for children and adolescents before that. So my background is a lot different than I just launched in private practice. Mine's a little backwards because I did the agency work. I just did it before I went to
Mhm.
grad school. But I did it and there's a part of me too that even though I did it before grad school, I kind of wish I had done it, like done more of it afterwards, to get that kind of setting supervision. It wasn't necessary. I had great supervisors, great mentors, and also people who made me practice an elevator pitch and things like that. So yeah, you
I was gonna
have to,
say, obviously, all of this before COVID, that we're starting to
Yes,
update
of
ourselves.
course.
Just
yeah,
so that everyone
Yes,
knows
yes,
when we're
yes,
talking about
yeah.
elevator pitch, what do we mean by that?
Yes,
yeah,
yes, yes.
yes,
And it's different now. The landscape has changed
Yeah.
dramatically.
yeah,
Um, and that's all of us continually pivoting our word from COVID that won't go away, continually pivoting and just learning new things. And that's why even when you're licensed, even when you're fully licensed, you still need, you don't have to call it supervision. You can call it consultation now. You graduated to
yes,
consultation. But you still need that because
yeah,
you don't know what you don't know, and you don't want to
yeah.
operate that way, you
Yeah.
know.
And I want to piggyback on that because I think opening a private practice can be lonely. It can be
Hmm.
very lonely. And so you have to be very mindful who are my people, who are the people that I can go to consult with that can bring a different perspective. It's just because we can miss things in peripheral, right? I didn't think about that.
Yeah,
I didn't think about that. And sitting down with Jen and Liliana, it's like, oh, I did not think about that. Yeah.
yeah.
So it'll help bring that clinically sound perspective on how to work with clients. So I strongly encourage that.
So what I will say, because I'm keeping track of time, is that when you start thinking of what is one pro and one con that you want to offer, what I will say to all of you, and I'll start, what I will say to all of you is that supervision consultation will be ongoing. You don't know, as Alex said, what you don't know, and you will not know until you're there and you fail. And
Hmm.
that's how you learn. So I'm gonna remove that. That's not a bad thing, it's a good thing. And then I will say if you're dreaming of making a lot of money because you see a lot of ads in Facebook, Instagram of how you can make six figures, like that is awesome, but everyone else is also watching those. So what sets you apart? That's what you need to start honing on. And then you have to keep learning. I hate when people come in and tell me like I graduated and that's it. I may read a book. You're
Hmm.
not my people if you do that.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So I'm not for you, just so you know that.
yeah. Hmm.
Alex,
yeah,
what's one pro, one con?
One pro, you can make your own schedule. You can make that's the flexibility of having your own private practice. You can make your own schedule. If you want to work a day or not want to work on the weekends, how late you want, how early you want. That's the best part. You can do it remote. You can do it. That's the great part. One of the biggest cons is it gets lonely. It gets very lonely. And so I'm super grateful that I have my group of peer colleagues that, hey, can we go have a lunch? Can we have good dinner? Can we hang out? Why? Because when we're together, we're doing peer consultation. We're talking about, ethical situations that come up and we're able to work with each other and provide resources. But it does get lonely. It does, you do get isolated and you get into the routine. And when you least expect it, you are missing that social clinical component that can support you as you develop. And then number two, be prepared to invest in yourself. Like Liliana says, you have to invest in trainings, you have to invest into personal development, career development, whether it be with the business lens or a clinical lens, you still have to invest in yourself as well.
Beautiful.
you do. You do. I'm never hurting for CEs. Whenever I get audited, I'm just like, well, what do I want to pick? Like I've got way more than I ever need to submit for anything. Um, a pro for me would be the same. You can do it your way. You can craft it however you want to. I don't really love being told what to do or being micromanaged. So I don't do well in those types of settings. The flip side to that is that it's all on you. Like whether you succeed, whether you fail, it's on you. You have to make it happen. You have to continually be growing and growing your business and working on all of those things. Yeah. So it's a lot
Beautiful.
of responsibility.
And I will let you that if you are your private practice, save for taxes. Taxes are a bitch
Oh my
at the end of the
Yeah.
year. Ah,
Yeah, that's
I'll
what
give
they
you
don't
a
tell you when it says you're going to make
yes.
100 grand. You might on
Yes.
paper before taxes and overhead and all of those CEs and everything else and the
Oh my
insurance and
gosh.
everything else you're going to pay for, maybe you're not taking home that much. That's what all of those ads don't actually convey. So,
Correct.
And
yes,
that's why I'm smiling because when I said, okay,
yes.
what is your fixed expenses? What's your operating expenses? And when I started asking those questions, people were like, wait, what? I was like,
Oh, wait.
maybe.
Hmm.
Internet's
Okay,
not free? Yeah. Nope.
we went over as always. Please, supervisees, if you want us to talk about a specific topic or other supervisors who want us to touch about something, contact us. We will include our contact information. And until next time, please be safe.
See you
Yes.
later.
Bye.
Bye.